Hey guys, this is Haru Miyagi. I'm going to be doing some live trading projections for next week and kind of get you started on Sunday. Today is Friday, so the market is closed, but we're going to just do some market observation right now so you can get a better idea. I'll be posting this webinar in the webinar section there, so for you to review. Just understand that this webinar presentation is for educational purposes only. If you decide to take any of these trades, that it is at your own risk. I'll be talking about how I entered, why I'm entering, exit, and take profit as well. But also just consider that you're responsible for the trades that you decide to take. Okay, because I'm not in your personal situation, and you may be more aggressive on your lot sizes, and so on and so forth. Okay, so looking at the euro dollar here. Oh, we got a lot more people. So we're actually full, guys. So looks like we have full capacity here. Like I said, if you have any questions, we'll have a Q&A at the end. And if you have any currency pairs you want me to look at, I'll be more than happy to give you my insight about the market. Okay. All right, guys. All right. Sounds like you did really well this week, huh? You took this whole big trend downwards. That's awesome. Okay, so the euro dollar here, we may be at a reversal stage, guys. We did talk about some short opportunities, but it looks like we created this candlestick right here, which is a reversal candlestick pattern, which is a hanging man. Okay, so you can see it nosed out and it's gone sideways. Okay, so overall for next week, because it's next week's volume, it may just start to turn. Okay, it may start to trend upwards. We had a long move downwards. We had support here, and we also talked about this in the last webinar section here, that this is another level that we were interested in if the market decided to reach this point. Okay, and so one of the trades I had was right here, and I took some profits, and I'm out on that trade. So if you took the trade from yesterday, there was an entry there, stop loss there, and you would already be up like 30 points or so. Okay. But this thing has just dived, and so my looking at this situation is possibly pull back up around this general area here, the support area. Okay, and that area is about 1.3700, 1.36966. And so really to get a better entry point is a possible double bottom, guys. So it's bottom out, but this market may come back down to create like a double bottom. So there might be a great tight entry of a buy opportunity limit order if you're there or not. You can consider this to be your stop loss behind here, which is at 1.3554 for the limit order. But you can also look at a small time frame, which we'll do for the trendline break on the upward swing. But like I said, I might see this thing go sideways, push down, then back up. Okay, and this thing may continue going upwards slowly. One level I'm interested in is right here as well as right here. Okay, so if you decide to target right around this support resistance area here, you can see it being well respected on the left hand side at 1.3805. Okay, so overall I'm looking for some targets, this one and this one, for buy opportunities, but like I said, I'd like to see this pull downwards. This is on the day chart, so this is for traders, for everyone, but consider your lot size and your account size if you decide to take the trade on the day chart. The 4-hour standpoint, this thing is pulling downwards a little bit, so what I'm looking for, if you're not in already, like I said, you can look for a breakout of this to pull back down and then continue upwards. But like I said, this thing may pull back down here, okay, and then move back upwards. So what I'm going to be considered to do here, let me actually pull a trend line up, okay, is something like this. So look at that trend line there. It's pretty nice, huh? So have a resistance, and we may be kicking off of it right now. So body, a little wick right here on the top. This would be a great buy break command. And for those that are using the Magic Stick there, make sure that your VPS server or your account's on your VPS server so you can take that trade. The stop loss levels I can see right now, if it decides to break upwards before retesting, is the stop loss right around at 1.3581. The overall target could be the origination point or even further, guys. So like I said, you want to have a bigger take profit than stop loss. So we're just consolidating. We're not really going anywhere. So what I'm looking for next week is probably the first or 2 days would be like this, just going sideways until we reach this trend line. So like I said, we can look for that retest of the bottom to buy up towards the trend line. So that could be one entry point. Decide just one trade. Okay, and this is the other reason that you could get in is the buy break command, or if this is the top, this could be also a buy break at 1.36386. Okay, for the buy opportunity. To really sell off, probably the break of this low here, and I'm looking for, instead of taking the breakout, I look for a retest before I would get in. Okay, 1 hour standpoint, like I said, this thing is just temporarily going sideways, so I'm looking to take this trade for quite some time now. I'm going to be looking for it to be more of a swing trade perspective, but we'll see what happens here at resistance. And resistance, like I said before. So on the smaller time frame, like I said, this could be your buy break command, and look for it to break upwards if you're not going to be around on Sunday. Alright. And look for this thing to possibly break upwards. But like I said, this thing's pulling back down, and we're probably going to be in a phase where we retest this resistance here at 1.3618. So we may see it come down and trade around this area first. Okay, looking at the Swissy. Now this is a long-term trade for me again, just like the euro dollar. I'm looking for this thing to possibly just trade downwards, but we'll probably see a pull back up. Okay, so one thing to consider, so this is a J chart point of view, is this market may just shuffle a little bit. I might see a double top, so in order for this a better entry point for those that want to be more precise is a possible retest and looking for a downward candlestick pattern right around this general facility. This will probably happen within, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mark. But overall, I'm looking for this thing to break downwards, okay, and trade down, and we may see this thing, because it has pulled upwards for quite some time. We may have somewhat a similar movement like this. Okay, we pushed up, so we're looking for a possible wick. Look for it to possibly retest right around this area at 0.90 or 89.65. So it may test this lower area or probably around this general area. See if it holds that price and then just drops and trades downwards. The 4-hour standpoint, guys, pretty similar to the euro dollar. You can see it just kind of hug this price, but in this case scenario, it looks like it's broken my trend line on my chart. So for some of those, it depends on what broker you have. It may have broken, it may have not. Maybe up here at your price, depending on your price feeds. But I'm looking to sell this off. Okay, so I'm already in. That's actually probably why I got in, was this area here as a magic stick trade as a sell break command. So it broke my trend line there. My stop loss is above here as my entry point, and I'm looking to this thing to just tank. It may meander, then tank. Okay, so it may consolidate, but I'm in. That's the reason I got in, and I'm looking for this thing to possibly trade downwards for next week. But like I said, anything can happen. Pull back. 1 hour standpoint, that 1 hour and 4 hour trend line looks pretty beautiful. I mean, there was a break, pull back up, push back down. Okay, so this looks like a retest to me. So if you're in, you could get in right now with this candlestick being your stop loss above here to be conservative, depending on your price feeds. And then if you're not in already, This could be a great sell break opportunity, guys. You can look for a sell break, the breakout, and a retest, and a push back down. And like I said, if you want to squeeze the chart here, you can see that this thing has broken the 1-hour trend line already, and like I said, it's going to just shuffle around probably for a little bit. That's why I'm kind of considering is this kind of behavior in the market next week. We may just kind of hold on to this price right here. Okay, that's the price I'm looking for it to reject. Is a possible rejection above here. So instead of having your stop loss there, you may want to consider up here if you're in this trade already. So above here. But let's see how the market reacts. It may just kind of meander around this price point, right around, let me be more precise, at 0.8965. Okay, so that's the price I don't believe the market to break back upwards. I'm looking at this market to possibly break back downwards. So you can use the support level as your entry point, or if you're trying to get a little bit better price, maybe this smaller 1-hour trend line as a trading opportunity. So this is a longer term trade, guys. I'm looking forward to this thing to possibly just trade downwards. So some of you took that breakout that I was talking about right here in the other webinar. I talked about another trend line like this, and you guys took it and you loved it. You took it and you made some money, right? You took it from that point to the origination and just cashed out on the 30 pip move. Okay, looking at the pound dollar here. This trade I'm not really liking because there is mixed signals. Let me just kind of explain myself. So on the pound dollar, it's in a situation where I think I'm gonna probably just get out for a second on Sunday after it moves in my favor for a little bit for several reasons. Okay. I believe that this is support, and we may trade up to this point right here and just struggle. Okay, and let me just show you why I believe that. So we've been on an uptrend. I mean, the last couple of weeks of webinars, we had some great trade opportunities. I mean, you would have cashed in on this. So we talked about like trend lines, and some reason this trend line actually fit that ding. Some reason. I think I did that. That's why. Okay, so I cut through this point because it's kind of gapped out. I think it was over the weekend, but I talked about this bounce trade, and I hope you guys took it, made some money off of it. We talked about the close, possibly trading up to this resistance, but not so much. But we protected our position, and hopefully you just enjoyed that and made some money on that trade. So we're in this consolidation phase again. I think the beginning next week with the pound dollar, it probably will follow the euro. They do follow each other pretty good, but sometimes they both slip from each other. So you may see some difference between the euro pound pair. So it really depends on which one's going to be stronger, the euro or the pound. But in this case, in this technical analysis, that I believe that we've broken a trend line. So we may see some reversals, okay, and we may see a retest around this general area here and trade downwards. So a couple ways to look at this as selling opportunities is the break of this low here at 1.6708 as a sell break command. And like I said, you don't want to just take all these trades. You want to observe them and say, okay, I'm going to take this one. You don't want to overtrade. Just make sure it's healthy for your account, and then you can see the benefit of it. All right, looking at this now, we are creating a high and a lower high and a low and a possible lower low, so we may be channeling downwards, guys. And the channel is specifically like this. This is kind of a smaller channel per se, like that. Can you see that? So trend line here, but we've broken this trend line on the bottom. Excuse me, and we are looking for this thing to possibly just trade overall downwards. But to have the best opportunities that we're looking for is a double bottom here, possibly coming back down and hitting here for a possible buy opportunity back up to this resistance and trendline area. Now, if this market is reversing, this is going to be a little bit more risky of a trade. So what I'm looking for overall for next week is a possible reversal in this X area. See how it's Xing out? Right here, there's an X. Either here or here, these two X's. Okay, I'm looking for a reversal candlestick pattern that this trend line is valid. That's going to act like a barrier. That's where I'm going to put my stop loss behind. Okay, and looking for this thing to drop off. If that's the case, then sooner or later, maybe a break of the support and keep on trading downwards. And overall target for right now is this trend line or this area of support and resistance, guys. So it may be, I mean, this is an overall look at it, probably several days or even next week's projection. So like I said, what I'm looking for overall is this X. Okay. So small buy opportunity for right now, but like I said, this may be something I'm going to be more interested in and be more aggressive with. The 4-hour standpoint, let me kick back to the day chart, sorry. There's also a concern, depending on how you drew your trend line, is it's hitting here, but I'm looking for a red candlestick if this is the retest of that trend line. So we'll see. So 4-hour standpoint, this may be just a temporal pullback, but like I said, with the euro going up, this one probably will follow. And so like I said, overall I might see this thing come back up to this area here, okay, or even this trend line. 1-hour standpoint, let's see. Okay, so we're climbing up a little bit. More of a tighter entry point for you guys, if you're not in already, is just see how it reacts with this 1-hour trend line or this breakout that it has. It may engulf and we may see it trade upwards. So really the smaller and short-term trade is to buy off this trend line, stop loss right around there, take profit 2 to 1 or greater than. USD yen. Let's actually just clean off the chart here. You can see this is just consolidating, and this one actually had a lot of great trading opportunities if you took those trades that we talked about in this general area on the smaller time frame. So you probably made ridiculous amounts of trades on this pair. So let's actually look at this again. So support, and we got resistance at the top and even higher resistance right here. So these are some points I'm more interested in. So overall we are on a downtrend, but we're obviously in a consolidated type of market. Okay, so in order for the breakout, this is going to be a huge breakout trade. Is if it breaks the high, then we're going to be looking for reasons to buy this pair up. But instead of the break, look for the retest, break, look for the retest, and then continue upwards. So you can see this market just, we talked about this buy opportunity. Hopefully you took it. So it's just meandering, guys. So this pair may be a little bit slower next week. Not as exciting. You can see we're forming a descending triangle here. And you can see these long tails. So you can see it's really indecisive. So in reality, this one I would actually say just stay away from it. The only really trade opportunity would be a possible buy break of the trend line or the break of this low, and just only trading back up to resistance. And in this area, look for a reversal candlestick pattern. Look how many times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 times that this thing's going to reverse in this area of 102.54 area. Okay, so we may see a reversal there. So there might be a smaller trend line that hugs it upwards and then breaks downwards. A 4-hour standpoint, like I said, this thing is just going sideways, guys. I mean, this thing is probably something you're probably going to ignore for 1 or 2 days. 1-hour standpoint, meh, it's just going sideways. Look how sideways that is. I mean, from spread to top, I mean, we're not really giving any leeway. I mean, we can see that we're just going, I mean, we're probably going to just do what we did this other day. Okay, so for scalpers though, there may be a little bit of opportunity. Like you can see, there was a small trend line break here on the probably 15-minute chart, And then here was another one that you could have took. So there was a smaller trend line break. Okay, if you can imagine this on the 15. So for those that like to scalp or day trade, I mean there was several opportunities there. I mean you could have bought right here with this smaller trend line here. You could have bought the retest of that trend line, okay, and just taken that thing up, okay, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. So here we had another trend line break. This one you might have lost on, but you can see if you held on, depending on where you put your stop loss behind the last swing low, you would have actually still profited. Huh. Okay, let's actually look at the Aussie dollar. Oh, some of you want me to look at the yens. Okay, the pound yen and the euro yen. The Aussie dollar here is in a phase of possibly retesting, guys, of this trend line. So it's going to be very interesting. I mean, if this market goes sideways, and I like to see if it see how this candlestick forms. Of course, the next one, if we do engulf off of it, this could be the retest. So you could possibly get in with a small trade here with a small stop loss in comparison of stop loss. Excuse me. So this market has broken a day trend line, and we may trade downwards. One thing to kind of consider is this ceiling here, guys. The double top of the day chart, we may ceiling out. So this may go up a little bit more than ceiling out. Okay, and look for the reversal. So bouncing off this trend line on top and pushing downwards. So I'm going to be possibly looking for more sell opportunities next week with this pair. Than this week, because we talked about this. I mean, a couple weeks ago, there was this one, this one, this one. Those buy break, buy break, buy break. I mean, you were probably buy breaking it all the way up. Okay. So for interest of selling, this pair is there's a support level here at 0.92079, and just looking at what it's going to react up here at resistance. Is it going to ceiling out? Is it reversing as a retest of this trend line? You know, that's something I'm going to be interested in. 4-hour standpoint, like I said, this thing just popped up. It's broken a little lower, so I might be interested just to sell this thing off and just keep my stop loss above this little wick high and trade this back down to support. As far as like direction though, looking at the 1-hour standpoint, this thing really doesn't have too much direction. So in a short-term sell opportunity, there is a little bit of a support area here at 0.9278. So if you saw a break and candle beyond that price, that might be an entry point or a retest, and then a push back down. So right now, like I said, Sunday and probably Monday will be slow for you on this pair. There may be nothing really exciting at all with that pair. The CAD, I would believe the same thing with the CAD. I mean, this thing, you can see it's this last week it was just sideways. I mean, there was a couple buy opportunities if you were scalping it or day trading it. You might have done pretty well with this pair, but most of it, and overall, as far as volatility is concerned, it really didn't go anywhere. It just kind of pushed up a little bit and then pushed back down. So deciding point, guys, right here with the CAD. I mean, the cable, the CAD. We have a trend line like this that we can see. So that's a possible buy break command, but we're just wedging in here. I mean, this thing is gonna try to make a decision. You know, it's gonna either break up, and we may see breakout. A couple ways I look for, possibly on the more horizontal perspective, is this resistance. This is something I'm going to be interested in because this would be the double bottom, break of a trend line, stop loss behind the wick low, break at 1.9170 would be interesting to me, and a retest. Okay. 4-hour standpoint, I mean, this is considered the wick. You can see it dinged off that price, and then it's pushing downwards. So it's meandering, guys. I mean, so if you want to be more aggressive, you could take the trade next week, but hold on to it a lot longer. Probably on a smaller time frame, there might be a break of this high right here. But this thing is just, I mean, this is support. Obviously, it came down really quickly, pushed off of it really quickly. So That's kind of what it's thinking about right now, and it's just going sideways. Let's see the 1 hour. 1 hour standpoint, this trend line on the top is looking really good. Oh my gosh, look at that thing. Look at that. So we have body, body, pretty much body right there. This would be a buy break command, and look for the buy opportunity if it does break this trend line. Hopefully the market does go upwards. But overall right now, I mean, kind of small engulfing pattern. There were small trade opportunities on the 15-minute chart. Like I said, probably took that one down, a little bit up. But like I said, probably beginning of Sunday, I would probably believe that this thing is just going to go sideways. So probably look at your charts on Monday or Tuesday for this pair. But if you're not going to be around, like I said, that's why I use the buy break. Make sure your money management is in check with your lot size to your account size. Okay. So it really depends if your account's in the U.S. or outside the U.S. or what broker you use, because your leverage ability could be different. So if you have any questions about that, give us a call. The euro yen, I kind of believe that the euro is going to be dominant in this case scenario. A couple things I like about this situation is we had a trend line break on the downside, so there was great selling opportunities, and some of you said, yeah, I took that trend line break, and you just pulled in 226 pips, because we did say take profits at the wick right there. But this market overall, guys, I mean, look at the bigger standpoint of it. It's broken that triangle there, or the flag. If you want to be more specific, we can look like, that's why it looks like a flag. Is this area here, it's going to struggle, and I think it's going to be more like a head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so if this thing pulls up, then I'm thinking that the yen might pull back down. So I'm just having you visualize this. So there may be a break upwards, but once it gets up here, then there is temptation to buy it. But what I would look for is a possible pullback, making this look like a shoulder, head, and possible shoulder area. So to be more conservative, this would be the breaking neckline. This is the resistance of this pattern. So yeah, it was the shoulder, head, possible another shoulder. In this general area, I look for a buy type of candlestick pattern and buy it up, and possibly look for the break here to trade back up to this trend line above here as an overall move. Excuse me. Let's get some water here. Okay. Like I said, this is a longer term trade that I'm looking to hold on to, but if you scalp the market, there was several great opportunities right there within this week. I mean, sell, bam, look at that trend line, and this is on a small time frame, so you probably caught this move right here and just took it all the way down. So here we are on a downtrend itself, but like I said, we have broken this trend line. That is the reason why I got in, was this break, so I entered the trade on the breakout. But overall, I'm looking for this thing to go sideways. I mean, it may drop back down in this area here, but overall, I'm looking for it to break right here and possibly trade back up to this area of support and resistance. You have support over here on the left. It broke out of it and never retested it, so I would believe that the market would go up to right around 141,385 area. I'm not going to be on the dot, but just in that area. Okay, is an overall target. So if you want to be more precise, possibly the wick of that right there. So 141.120 is probably the target point. Okay. So a couple things I can see this market do is small low and a higher low, and it's broken this smaller double bottom scenario. So that's another reason why you could get in, but you may see this thing tumble down like this and then retest. So you could put a limit order right there and keep your stop loss behind the swing low and look for this thing to possibly buy upwards. Okay. 1 hour standpoint, like I said, it was mainly for that trend line break is the reason why I got in. But you can see this thing pull downwards, and it's so tempted to you want to sell it right there. But I'm actually believing that this market is going to hold this price at 138.44 area, guys. So be cautious with this pair. Like I said, there is smaller breaking out scenarios, so there might be a small break upwards on this 138.84 area, but I'm looking for this thing to possibly retest this area because it broke this high. Okay, and I'm looking for this thing to hold on. If it holds on and we see an engulfing pattern or upward pressure candlestick, that's probably what I'm going to be looking for the buy opportunity. This could be just simply a wick on a bigger time frame, and I'm just looking for this thing to go up overall. So next week's projection overall day chart, looking for this thing to overall trade upwards. Okay. The pound yen typically follows the euro yen. As you can see side by side, the patterns are very similar. So let's check this thing out. This thing, there were some good, some bad trades. Just kind of break even on this market. There was that sell opportunity we talked about to sell off right here because of this candlestick. Trading back down to support, possibly buy. So you probably made some money on this pair. But let me actually just show you the perspective here. We have a trendline break. So it was a break, that was an entry. You could have protected your position there or look for this retest, okay, and trade back down. So this market, you know, it kind of conflicts with the euro dollar and the pound dollar observations. But what I'm looking at is this area here to be a consolidation phase. Like overall, I think this might tumble downwards, so we do have like a slightly lower highs like this. So a couple things I'm going to be looking at. If you're in this, you would have got in there, stop loss there, and riding it up. Okay, and you're probably already in the green with this pair. But once it gets here, I'm going to be interested to see if there's a reversal here. I'm going to be interested if there's a reversal back down here. If the price comes back down to this area at 169.656. A couple things I would consider, guys, is it is the pound yen. It moves really quickly, so that would be something you want to consider as far as putting a trade in. And yeah, just make sure your money management is in check. So let's see here. Right around here, there may be a decision to be made. This X that I have here for you. So if it's overall trending downwards now, and let's see if we have a channel, guys. We kind of do. If you consider the wicks, yeah, see that parallel. So channeling upwards a little bit, or downwards overall. So this trade right here is a little bit riskier than the trade coming back down. So if you're not in already, you want to probably wait maybe a few days before you get up there. Before it gets up there. Before you get up there. Okay. So you can see it bounce off that trend line just like magic. So you would have entered right here on the 4 hour, and you would have probably had your stop loss there. And you're probably up maybe 70 pips or so. Or if it is now, it's only 50. But pips are pips, right? 1 hour standpoint, yeah, same thing. I mean, this thing may hold on to this price right here at 170.14. So I'm going to be curious to see what happens right around here. It's broken this kind of smaller pattern, but maybe it's a double bottom, guys. I mean, if it bottoms out right here, we could have a small limit order. You want to refer here to be your stop loss, or you could just be patient and just wait for the candlestick pattern to happen and close, and then look for the buy break command upwards. Another way to look at this, if you're not in already, this could be your buy break command. It's rejected this high here, and we have a 45-degree angle type of trend line, so that's pretty good. So body to body, so we're slightly trending downwards, but this thing may just reverse over next week because the pounds and the euros may be going up. So here may be the trendline break as a buy break command You have a couple stop loss references. As you have this swing low here as your reference. So if you can kind of see how big of a stop loss you need to take profit ratio. And yeah, that's kind of the pound yen. So anybody have any markets you want me to look at or any questions at all? Oh, good one. The euro pound. Because of the mixed signals, huh? Yeah, let's talk about that one. Let's get the euro pound on here. Okay, let's look at this thing. So day chart shows that we're on a really strong downtrend, which in this case scenario, because it has been on a strong downtrend, is the trades that you're going to take on the euro pound could be a little bit more risky. Just the fact that we're counter trend trading, guys, because this market is trading downwards. I mean, this thing is, it has somewhat broken that trend line. I mean, this is kind of a really steep trend line, if you can imagine. It'd probably look better if it was like that, like these swing points right here, as you can see. Okay, so I mean, really, if you look at this market, a couple things. If it does reverse there would be a neckline. Okay, so what I like for this market, if I would actually look for an entry point, is look at this market to be kind of like this, guys. I mean, it's trending downwards and forming like double bottoms and then breaking necklines. So there's a couple of entries and exit strategies that I'm looking at here. Let's get rid of this line right here. It's kind of in the way. I'm looking for this thing to double bottom, and the euro might be more dominant in this perspective to weaken per se, or excuse me, the pound would be more dominant in that situation, and pulling back down right around the 0.8082 area. Okay, so if it engulfs off that, so if we have a small red candle followed by a white candle or an upper pressure candle, this is the pattern I would be looking for right here. Okay, number one, it gives you a lot more risk to reward in that trade. This trend line might not really have an effect in this market. The horizontal line right here that I have at this area, if this is reversing, would be at 0.8135, and it'd be a little tougher to scalp this market. So there's a couple opportunities. We may have a smaller trend line like this to break downwards to trade back down to the bottom as our overall target on a smaller time frame. So let's actually kick down in the 4 hour. Yeah, there's not really a trend line, guys. I mean, you would probably be in right now. I mean, you probably already have a few pips captured, like that. Yeah. I mean, this is a really ugly trend line. I mean, so you probably got there. There's your retest, so you're engulfing patterns. So you're probably already in. Your stop loss is probably right there, and you're taking it. Or you're holding on the weekend, or you might get in at that neckline right there. But overall, I'm looking for a W. That's kind of what I'm looking for. What I'm also looking for is this trend line to be pretty exciting. Is if this market does trade downwards, then I'd be pretty interested to see if this would be a great trend line for the upswing. The 1 hour standpoint, like I said, guys, if you're in, you're probably in for the sell. Having your stop loss above these trend line areas here, or this resistance as well. You can see it's kind of rejected this area here several times. So next week you put a sell, you might look for a take profit in this general facility right around this area here. Okay, you want to make sure you consider the spread. All right, and yeah, so I'm going to be more interested. It's probably going to be like 1 or 2 days. So there's a sell opportunity right now, or on Sunday, and then possibly a buy opportunity once we get down this general area and looking to buy this back up. So I'm looking for a reversal candlestick pattern. Something like this would be really nice to look for, and maybe do a buy break command when it forms a red candlestick to see if it breaks the red upward swing, and having your stop loss behind that pattern. So that's something I'm going to be interested in, guys, for this pair. All right, well, sounds like you guys are excited from last week. You guys probably there was that buy opportunity that we did talk about on the euro pound right here. I mean, that was the buy rate command right there. And if you took it again, there was that retest we talked about, and look at that thing, 30 pips. And this thing is actually a crawler, so it's a lot slower. So you can kind of take your time because this is about 2 or 3 days of data, so there's only like 3 opportunities. But this one right here, I hope you took it, this breakout. All right. Okay, guys. Well, it was awesome. Sounds like you guys are doing really well with the Magic Stick. And again, please post your review on Forex Peace Army. And also, again, for the limited time only, I put that discount code. It should be valid for today. But hope you guys enjoyed this this web event. All right, take care, guys.